Boy, folks, the Law and Order Party has transformed into the lie, grovel, and runaway party, huh? Yeah. Gone are the days when beating a cop wasn't cool. Republicans of today are totally okay with this, and this, and this. They are. Even though the sanctimonious right loves to coo about their blue, sometimes you just have to let it slide when 140 officers get pummeled with baseball bats, hockey sticks, brass knuckles, pipes, bike racks, tasers, axes, riot shields, chemical spray, and flagpoles. Sure, 70% of Americans were against letting dangerous, violent criminals who pulverize the Capitol Police be released into the general population with the message that their will to avenge is fully supported. But when did public sentiment ever influence Republicans? Silly. If it did, pew-pews over preschoolers wouldn't be a thing, would it? No. Well, despite the fact that a whole slew of Republican worms feigned moral outrage after the J6 insurrection, this week many of them perfected their deflection cameos. When asked about how they felt about the blanket pardon Orangina granted to all the Capitol-pooping cretins, we saw some Oscar-worthy performances of, huh? What? I haven't seen the details. I don't know all the cases. We're looking forward, not backward. And Joe Biden pardoned people too. Oh, MAGA, you sure voted in some special scumbags, didn't you? Well, what's the big deal anyway, right, folks? I mean, we're in the dry run of SCOTUS's new president as king version of government. Just freewheeling it, just for kicks, and maybe for a few kickbacks, but honestly, some of those cops probably had it coming anyway, right? I mean, the good cops could have identified themselves and they would have been just fine. All they had to do was wear some MAGA merch under their uniforms and the Proud Boys probably would have shared their peanut butter sandwiches and zip ties, because the PBs are generous like that. And look, if it had been any other group attacking the blue, like for instance Black Lives Matter protesters, or feminist Nazis in their pink hats, or drag queens and librarians, or migrant caravanners, or even people who looked smart, woke, and compassionate, well, the J6ers would have totally backed the blue and beat the crap out of the enemy without hesitation. But when it's radicalized white boys going after police in the name of their orange savior, radicalized white wins hands down. Sure, there are tons of prisoners serving time across this country for far less crimes than the J6ers committed. And sure, many of them will probably fan out and commit more crimes with the understanding that Orangina has cloaked them in immunity in exchange for their skills at terrorizing Americans he doesn't like. And sure, we can expect folks who turned them in or testified against them to be tormented and harmed, but that's the price you pay when you don't consider all the caveats of American justice. If you're going to press charges or turn someone in, you got to think about whether or not one day a corrupt judge, administration, or convicted felon might turn them on you. Yeah, these are the things women have known forever. That's why so few of them report being assaulted. So, sorry folks, the Law and Order Party is hibernating up Orangina's nether region, and they won't be coming out anytime soon. So it's justice, schmustice for all. Except the cray-cray white supremacist basement dwellers. Whatever you do, don't try to stop them, because you might find yourself covered in doo-doo, wishing you never learned right from wrong in the first place. Yeah. Well, J6ers, have the day you deserve.